It's time to sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right. Welcome everybody to Wednesday morning corporate segment. Happy Wednesday to those of you that are tuned in. We appreciate you being here. I feel like I just talked to all of you last night, but it's a brand new day. Yes, it is. And we are off to a magnificent start. I have a few things to share with y'all that are just kind of make notes. I have some things to share with y'all, but before I do, how is everybody doing? Where are you tuning in from today? And by that, I mean, are you working from home? Are you in traffic? Are you at the office? Are you a cubicle girl? Are you a office girl, corner office girl, open concept? Tell me what's going on. What we got? Who's here today? Are you listening with the team? And if so, what industry are you in? That's a lot, right? That's a lot coming your way. Good morning. Jay Taylor says, good morning, y'all. Yes, good morning. Good morning. It is a different topic, and we're going to tackle it today. Oh, baby, because um, most of you were conditioned and raised. Listen, you get yourself in a good school, you get yourself a good degree, you sit down somewhere, and you depend on your degree to carry you through the workforce. Well, that is no longer the case in 2025. And today's corporate segment will be focused on the reasons degrees don't matter as much in 2025 and what does. What are corporations looking for? And why the sudden shift? Or is it even sudden? Maybe you just haven't been paying attention to the trends and what's really going on. But that is what we're going to be talking about. And this video is going to tackle the growing shift towards skills-based hiring, real world experience, and how degrees are no longer the golden ticket they used to be in the workplace. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What does that mean for us? What does that mean for you? I have a lot of questions because if you think about what's been happening in the last 10 to 15 years in the data that has been shared around education, Black American women are the most educated group in the US, leading in terms of educational gains and earning degrees at higher rates, okay? Particularly master's and doctoral degree programs compared to their male counterparts and other groups within the higher education realm. What does this mean? So if you fall into that category, right, whether you're a woman of color, a man with a master's, or if you have a PhD, a doctoral degree, and you've been conditioned and told, this is how you make it. But now there has been a shift. Where do we go from here? Dragonfly, good morning to you. Dragonfly Jones says, working from home. Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for pulling up. Ty is working from home today. Miss Ashley, the therapist. She says, I'm in California getting ready for work and needed to hear from the queen. Well, thank you for joining us as you're getting ready. I hope you have a good cup of coffee, Ashley, because I know I do. Y'all, let me tell you what I did last night. I was supposed to be in bed, but I wasn't quite ready to close my eyes. So I decided to jump on Instagram really quick. And because the algorithm has figured out that Queen Sheba is going to buy something, all you got to do is put it in front of her. They flag me or put this ad, in my timeline with a coffee warmer. Why did they do that? Because every 5 minutes, I don't know about you, I'm always up rewarming my coffee. So I bought a new toy. And not only did I buy a new toy, I made sure that it got here at 4 a.m. this morning so that I can enjoy it for today's corporate segment. So I'm really excited. It's already here. It goes up to 176 degrees. I'm excited because I'm like, let me see if this thing really works. And so far, so good. That's the first thing. Yes. So, Ashley, I hope you have a nice cup of coffee like I do. This is the beginning of fall. Do we have any pumpkin spice people in the chat? Where are all my pumpkin heads? Where are all my pumpkin heads? Good morning to you, pumpkin spice queens and kings. Mm. And so far, I can say that this coffee warmer is doing its job. Yes, that the coffee warmer is doing its job. If you have a request for me to cover on Corporate Wednesday segment, you have to email it, okay? You have to email it. We have a formal process of requests here. Okay, now that you're talking about it, there's a couple of things. Email me if you want to talk about the shutdown. I'm not going to remember the chat. That's even if the chat comes back up. That's the first thing. The second thing is if I put out this video, consider this my gift to you, right? Any topic that you need and or want, feel free to go through the transcripts if there's something that you need to get at or come back to as a replay. But I cannot and I will not do the work for you. So don't inbox me and ask me, what did you say? No, ma'am. I do this for free for you. So it's your job to come back and do your due diligence of looking through the transcripts. And if you need a one-on-one refresher, mods, can you put the one-on-one coaching link available? So if you would like to have a one-on-one with me, a coaching session, I do have those available for purchase in segments of 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 90 minutes. Okay. Tony Janelle said, I bought some pumpkin muffins the other day. You know what? Maybe I should make some pumpkin muffins. Cam I am says she's a pumpkin spice girly here working from home. Simple Logic just got a candle from Bath and Body Works. What kind of fragrances do you like? I'm more of a musky girl. Musky. I don't like the real sweet scents. They tend to give me a bad headache. Good morning to you, simple yet stylish. Y'all make sure y'all say good morning to my moderators that are in the audience today. Toot Latrice says she is a pumpkin head. I'm a pumpkin head too. I'm a pumpkin head. Miss Ashley, I'll come back to that. I'm going to pin your comment. All right, we are going to, Anitra J says, I need a work from home job, something like data entry. Listen, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Oh, muffins do sound good, especially if you can make them from scratch and then add a little bit of lemon twist. Ooh, I think that would take it to a different level. A lemon pumpkin muffin. We may have to look into that. Or a cinnamon pumpkin. Ooh. Oh, that sounds delicious. And maybe those of you that are in a position to use that corporate credit card, get your team some pumpkin muffins. See what you can come up with, okay? That's it. That's all. Well, we do one thing before we jump into the segment. My first question is, how are you feeling today? Give me one word to describe how you're feeling or what you are trying to feel towards the end of the segment. One word, an adjective, something that we can understand. On your mark, get set, and go. Yeah, let's see what we have coming through the chat really, really quick. We have blessed. We have sluggish. Oh, sluggish. We have blessed. We have motivated by simple logic. Marvelous. Miss Mills is coming through feeling marvelous. We have Miss Ashley. The therapist is feeling jubilant. Yes. Ashley, real quick, are therapists have therapists return to the office, or are y'all still strictly dedicated to virtual appointments? What's the trend in the industry? Let us know, Ashley. Mary Willis is feeling good. Somali Queen, my moderator, is feeling excited. Oh. T is feeling grateful. They call me corporate diva is feeling energized. We have E Boogie, reflective. We have encouraged, inspired, drained. Drain. Get up, Monique. Tony Janelle is feeling enlightened. We have optimistic by Miss Chanel. We have grateful by Sharon Bronson. We have productive. I like that. A YouTube watcher is feeling productive. We have blessed, energetic, simple yet stylish, just feeling blessed. We have good, accomplished. Congratulations, Inez, on yourself. Oh, yeah, now you can take me to dinner. We have drained, we have inspired, determined, grateful, rejuvenated, motivated, tired, blessed. And that is all for today. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up and letting us know what's in your arsenal. We are going to shift the segment now and we're going to get into it. Okay. We are going to get into it. Like I mentioned earlier, for decades, many of us have been conditioned that having a degree meant something. And you know what? I think I would still like to argue that it still means something because the way we were raised or the way I was raised, I don't know about you. Let me know in the chat. Having a degree used to be your ticket to paradise. It used to be your golden ticket into corporate America. And it told the world that I am here, I am educated, I'm reliable, I'm employable, I'm committed, dedicated. And not only that, I'm loyal. I stuck it out for 4 years. And heck, even if you went higher to a higher level of education and attained a master's and or a doctoral degree, that exemplified even more stability. In fact, most jobs required a degree. You had to have a degree just to get your foot in the door. If you think about the job listings and the requirements, the minimum requirements, even when the actual job didn't. Ain't that something? We just want you to have a degree, even if it means your role and your responsibilities doesn't necessarily need that. And it became a default filter in hiring. And it was a quick way for corporations to begin to weed people out. Right, wrong, and or indifferent. It was just the way it is, right? And socially, oh, let's not even talk about socially. A college degree meant respect, security, privilege, and it was definitely an icebreaker. Do you think it was more so an icebreaker for men or women now that we're getting deep into it? I have my thoughts, but I'd like to hear yours from a social aspect. Was it more so a privilege for a man to brag about his degree or a woman? So what's changed? What's changed? All of a sudden, we're here today, right? Fast forward to 2025, employers are thinking differently. I think I know, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. And with the rise of remote work, employers and corporations are now starting to listen to this very carefully. They're starting to lean and rely on skills first hiring and non traditional education. And many corporations, recruiters, interviewers, they're asking, can you do the job? Not necessarily, what did you go to school for? Can you do the job? They're asking these specific behavioral questions that will tie your skills, your success, your wins. And two, can you do the job? And not only can you do the job, how can you articulate that in a one-on-one and or panel interview? Are you following me? Mm, do you follow? Patricia Bennett said she believes having a degree could be more of a flex for men than women. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Okay, Patricia was the only one. Patricia, you get a star. You get a golden star for paying attention today in class. All right. Thank you, Patricia. So listen, now they're asking, and many of you have no idea because you're walking in degreed up. You're ready to talk about your degree. You're ready to talk about your college experience, where you went to school to get your master's and or your doctoral degree. And you're wondering why you didn't get a call back. It's because they're leaning more on skills first hiring. Can he or she articulate their skills first and not lean so heavily on I went to school, I've attained this degree? And major companies like Google, IBM, Tesla, and even y'all, the US government have removed degree requirements for many roles. Oh, we're going to get into it today. Even platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Glassdoor, if you go look at their stats and their data, they are reporting a huge increase in job listings that focus on skills certifications, and portfolios instead of a college degree. What does this mean? I saw somebody in the chat earlier say that they have they uh, they do data entry. They're certified data analysts with data entry. Now corporations are asking for certifications. Portfolio is your body of work. Your body of work, right? Be it whether you have a traditional job, if you're a makeup artist, hairstylist, if you do like a very creative art. When I say creative art, I mean chef or whatever. Your portfolio is how you package your work in order to present it, okay? And why the shift? Because employers want results. But I listen, what they've started to find is sometimes those that are degreed up, and not you and you, not those of you that are tuned in, but many people that had degrees were not actually capable of doing the job and were not necessarily a good fit for the role. But some people believe that the shift in attaining a skills first notion could actually be a very conscious bias based on the stats and the data that I just ran down to you regarding Black American women. Some critics believe that, hey, listen, we believe you're shifting away from degrees being required because Black American women are the most educated group in the US, leading in terms of educational gains and earning degrees at higher rates. They're coming in with masters, they're coming in with doctoral degrees, and some beg to differ. They're saying, we believe some of you are actually moving the goalpost. And it's another subconscious bias. It's another way to keep women, in particular women of color, out of the workplace. So now degrees are no longer required, and you're supplementing it with what you deem to be skills first hiring, certifications, and portfolios. Let's get into it. In fact, some of the certifications based on the industry that you're interested in can be very pricey, in the sums of tens and thousands of dollars. So imagine that you've gone to school, you've gotten your bachelor's, you've racked up all of this student debt, you've gotten your master's, you've gotten your doctoral degree, and you're paying off these loans as you are working your way through the workforce, right? Whether you're a mid-level employee, C-suite, then all of a sudden a new requirement is implemented and you have a year, up to a year, 12 months to get this certification that costs you to the tune of $10,000, $15,000. Some people are saying, we see you, corporate America. We know exactly what's happening. We know exactly what's going on. So let's talk about how to navigate the new requirements that we're starting to see in a shift. I also want to point out that when companies remove the requirement of you having a degree, what do you think happens to the salary that would be offered? You guys, when you start taking off the educational requirements, I know that data is showing that this is a way for corporations to really focus on you. That may be true, but I don't think it's the primary driver. I think it's a way to save money. I think it's a way for corporations to cut corners. Yes, simple logic. And I think it's a way for them to come in the door and lowball you as an employee, as a professional who have been in your industry for a number of years, and to offer you a lower paying salary. So it's almost like a double-edged sword, right? It makes it easier for you to be able to go out and secure a job, but at the same time, show me the money. Is the money on the table? Is the money on the table? And that's when it becomes important for you to really rock that interview and knock the ball out the park. Well, how do I do that, Queen Sheba? Wait, on one hand, you're saying corporations are no longer requiring degrees because they're more focused on skill based employees. Can you articulate? That means can you speak to your skills in an interview? Yeah. Okay. If you can lay that out in a storytelling way and then compile that with your education, that gives you an advantage in your negotiation dialogue with the recruiter. Because typically you're going to be talking money with your recruiter. If you're not able to articulate that and really overwhelm them in the most beautiful way with your storytelling and translating your skills to the role that which you're applying for, you will not be offered what you think you're worth. Daily Peach Housewives, thank you. She said that salary is going to drop. Absolutely. That salary will drop. And then if we dig a little bit further, so what matters? Your technical skills. You cannot be an analog girl in a digital world. Okay. Technology is ruling the nation right now, whether it's effective or not. Corporations, jobs, organizations are leading towards convenience. Technology is a technical skill is a great convenience. What it speaks to is that you have the ability to use tools, softwares, or systems required for the job, and this saves a lot of time. Okay. And I know some of you say, well, whoa, wait, Queen Sheba, I'm of a particular age. Listen, if they ask you, can you do it? The answer is always what? Yes. And then you better go figure out how to make it happen. Technical skills. That's the first thing that's going to matter. Second is embed like your portfolio. Can you show your work or past results? Your portfolio can be embedded in your resume. Okay. That can be your resume. That can be a PowerPoint presentation. That can be a collage. That can be uh, a sizzle reel, depending on what type of job you're going for. And what I mean by sizzle reel, not necessarily for the entertainment industry. Maybe they're asking you to catalog your portfolio as a digital presentation. It's all the same. And third, your soft skills. That's what we're doing today. Your communication, your emotional intelligence, and your adaptability. As a matter of fact, the first two are so technical and so straightforward, technical and portfolio. I think most of you, or most times, most people struggle with the soft skills. We can teach those technical skills. We can teach you how to put together and present your portfolio. But if you are not a great communicator, not necessarily verbally, if you cannot articulate your thoughts really quickly, simplify them really fast without taking up 30 to 45 minutes in the meeting, 30 to 45 minutes in HR, and we're still saying land the plane. All right, go ahead and get to the point. Communicating effectively. If you do not have emotional intelligence, and if you struggle with adapting, they call it change management. As things begin to change, today our government shut down. Adaptability. You're going to have some people griping in the office place. We don't do that over here, right? Because we say if you stay, the rule is you must play. That's what they're looking for. Adaptability, emotional intelligence, and an excellent communicator. And oftentimes, ladies, I have to be honest, most of you confuse excellent communication with how many words you can use in an email and or in a meeting. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I've seen resumes that's come across my desk. Sometimes you have too many words. So communication can be a good thing. But whoa, man, you get one of those ones that come through that overly communicates. Nobody wants to deal with that. So you have to be very careful. And you have to be able to find your sweet spot to say what you mean and mean what you say, quick, fast, and in a hurry. If they need more, let them ask you to give more detail. Are y'all following? Can you hear me now? Are y'all following me? Does this make sense? I'm giving you a lot. This is free game. AI in healthcare. I was going to talk about that today, but maybe we'll cover AI next week because Kenya, they're actually looking for you to be hybrid, not primarily dominant with AI, because they still need the human factor, right? As the front door. Because you don't want, I mean, I know digital doors are good, but in healthcare, especially if you work with patients, you want to be that human door and then have that digital door behind you. Maybe we'll go into detail about that next week, but that's a great point that you called out. Excellent point. All right, let's continue. So then let's not forget there is no excuse for you to get left behind in the rapture as it relates to what these corporations are doing, the swift changes that are coming through. Because I'm not only are we talking about how corporations are changing and they're starting to turn the other cheek on degrees and adapting a new approach to what they deem as a well-rounded employee, you should be able to adapt. We just talked about adaptability. Because let's not forget, there are platforms like Coursera, Udemy, Google Career Certificates. Y'all, your local library teaches free classes. Well, I don't know if they're free because you actually pay taxes. So they're really not free because you pay for it. You pay for it. Your local library. If you need to learn coding, Excel, whatever it is, look at the calendar for the local library in your zip code. Thank you. Always be cute. She says, Coursera. Did I say that right? Yeah. She says, Queen, you're giving some great information. So even if you struggle, take a few weekends. Switch your nail appointment, switch your haircut, your salon day, and use a Saturday or two to go down to the library and get yourself in one of those good warm seats and learn what you need to learn. And learn what you need to learn. There are no excuses. The bottom line is experience is the new degree. Speak to your experience. If you're new at it, tell them, say, yeah, that's funny you ask. I just enrolled in a course. Say it. That's a great conversation starter. If you're middle age, if you're a boomer, if you're Gen X, if you're a millennial, that's funny that you bring that up. That's where you become a person and you utilize your interpersonal skills in the interview, communication. I just enrolled. I took an interest in AI, blah blah blah, and I enrolled in a course. They don't have to know where it is, and I'm in my second week. Because can I tell you something? 9 times out of 10, that director, that senior director, that VP, whomever is interviewing you, probably does not know how to utilize that technology themselves. They don't have time for that. That's why they are at the top, and they often delegate that to someone else. That's it. That's all. And yes, you can utilize YouTube as well. There's really no excuses anymore. I heard a young man who's very famous. I'm not going to say his name. He cannot sing. He's not a singer, but he is a singer. They have him labeled as a singer. They're pushing him out. He's very famous. He makes millions of dollars. He wasn't familiar with music. He knew he liked music. Guess how he learned to create his own beats? He went into a closet one day on a weekend for 6 hours. Used Chat GPT to create songs. He said that was a heavy lift for him. Listen, this is a young man, a Gen Z, felt like 6 hours was a lift. Oh, well, welcome to our world. If 6 hours was a lift for you, you could never walk a mile in my shoes. Now, if a Gen Z can go into a closet for 6 hours to teach themselves how to use something that they are not familiar with, so can you. So can you. Mariana J says, I listen to TED Talks to help me with organizational wordsmiths. It has helped me. Let me tell you a trick. Another thing that's going to help you stay abreast, because I think I saw a question from Yvette Robinson. She says, Queen, what do you do of age? What do people of age do in the workplace when this college students are definitely in with advanced technology skills? Well, they're going to tech. That's what they have. I mean, that's what they come in with. That's their advantage. So you definitely don't want to compete with that. But you have real world application. You have real world implementation. And you just need to know a little about a lot in order to be dangerous. They are strictly tech. They lack interpersonal skills. That's the ability to deeply communicate, to deeply articulate. Some of them are not very well-rounded with emotional intelligence and adaptability. Adaptability is to be able to change and pivot in real time with the organization as the real world changes when it comes to layoffs, new bosses. They don't have that experience, okay? Yes, they can use tools and software and systems, but can they run a meeting? Can they manage client relationships? Can they present from one page of a PowerPoint when the PowerPoint is a 50-page PowerPoint? No. Do they have the ability to be a deep learner? Not necessarily, not really. It's very hard for them. And that's not shunning them, but this is for you to know where you can get in the game and compete. Okay. And what I mean by the PowerPoint thing is there's a rule of thumb. You should be able to give an entire presentation from one page of your PowerPoint. There's your first or your whatever, between the first 5 pages of your PowerPoint, one of those pages should have everything you need and bullet points that if you didn't need to, you didn't have to click another page in order to present. You should be so deeply grounded in your product, your field, and to be able to master and articulate your marketplace that you didn't have to push or click or go to the next slide. Next slide, please. Many of them can't do that. That's called deep learning, knowing the product inside and out, knowing the organization inside and out, being able to articulate and or communicate, and not just reciting like a parrot and memorizing. Implementation. Do you really know this stuff? And that's going to be your edge for those of you that are saying, hey, listen, I'm from a different generation. I'm a boomer. I'm an X. I'm a millennial. How do we compete? You don't. You let them shine where they shine and you shine where you shine. But if you are really a good employee, you utilize them and you work together and you allow them to be good at what they're good at and you're good at what you're good at. And that's how you begin to identify your key players and your key influencers within the organizations and delegate the right things to them to help you carry the ball as a team. Does that help everybody? Does that help? Okay, let's continue to go. So the bottom line is experience is the new degree, even if that's not a fact. That's what you are going to lead with, your experience, not your degree. It doesn't mean that your degree is not important. We're just going to reverse Uno on their asses. Do you get what I'm saying? I had to throw a little bit of that in there to spice it up, a little razzle dazzle. Oh, okay. You're not going to be focused on my degree. That's fine. I can shift the board. I'll lean in with my skills. And that's where most people struggle. You're not able to articulate your skills. You can run down the degree, what school you went to, with all of that, but articulate. So you're going to do a reverse Uno and you're going to start to practice and give yourself about 45 to 60 seconds to speak to your skills, pausing, methodically communicate, establishing a really good cadence. Thank you. They call me corporate diva. She says exactly. All right. So then what's the final thing? I want to be clear that this doesn't mean that college is obsolete, but people, the way the world we live, this is a completely different world, okay? Where people are marveling at your ability to start your own business, marveling at your ability that you created your own team with little to no formal or higher education. It's not a requirement. You have kids, you have students, adults out here making millions, running circles around the people that are interviewing them. Speak to your experience. Now, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or go into academia, now you know you still need a degree. The degree is you still need to get a damn degree. Now, don't be walking, I want to be a doctor. And Queen Sheba said, it's my, no. Queen Sheba said that a degree is no longer important. I did not tell you that as it relates to specific fields of study. You cannot go to Chat GPT to learn how to be a doctor. It still blows me away that this kid is a millionaire. And he typed in Chat GPT, how do I make songs from my what's the name of these phones? How do I make songs from my iPhone? And he's a millionaire because he decided on a whim to go in a closet for 6 hours and learn and take notes. And you mean to tell me many of you are seated here in today's live? Come on. Come on. That's the only difference between them and you. They do. You won't. But let me get back on script. If you're looking to go into tech, marketing, project management, sales, or operations, the path is wide open. That you can do that with or without a traditional education, okay? If you can get in there and finesse the conversation and speak to your what? Speak to your experience. If you look around at some of the top earners in corporate America, from coders to content creators, many of them never even finished college. Many of them never finished college and do not have a degree. Some argue it's because they knew exactly what they wanted to do and they felt like they didn't need to waste time. Why do I need to sit here? And I'm degreed up. Let's be clear, right? But why do I need to sit here for 4 years when I already know where I'm headed? I may as well go and get a head start. And in fact, many hiring managers have stopped asking about education altogether, y'all. And they focus on what can you do? And that's the question that matters in 2025. It's about the value that you bring, not the vanity. The value that you bring, not the vanity. Results, not resumes. Do you understand? There's value, not vanity. Results, not resume. So please practice. I encourage you to start focusing when people say, tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, how would you answer that question? I graduated from the value, not the vanity. The degree is the vanity. What value do you bring from having that degree? Speak to that. What value do I bring from having this degree? That's what you speak to. Got it? And I know I broke it down like we were kindergartners. But that's the way. I like it. I'm going to post a link in the chat. This is a time for me to open the lines for callers to come in, come up. If you have any question or if you need to navigate through a tough problem in the workplace, we dedicate 5 to 7 minutes of this segment to you. Welcome, everybody. Yep. Oh my gosh, I was just talking. Oh lordy. Okay, welcome back. I said I'm just going to read some comments. I did not know that I've been on mute that long. So listen, I'm opening up the line for those of you that have questions and or comments, or if you need feedback. We dedicate 5 to 7 minutes for you to come up. Remember, for questions and or feedback, okay? If you have any questions, if you're trying to navigate through um, a challenge within your corporation. And I also was reading off some of the comments. Let me drop the link really quick. All you have to do is click the link to be able to call in and come up. Melanin Blend says ChatGPT is amazing. I utilize it often in my field of sports management. It is amazing. It can be very, very amazing. Let's see what else we have coming in. Yvette Robinson said, "That's good, Queen. I would have never thought that most of us think we're in competition with each other. So excellent." Nope, you're not. You just got to figure out how to work well with each other. Man, isn't it's a lot to unpack. When we really think about how we're framed and how we've been conditioned and how we see each other as competition as opposed to, hey, that's my help. That can be a great partner for me in the organization. That's somebody I would love to collaborate with. Melanin Blend said, exactly. I just did a 13, a 13 slide PowerPoint. The video I attached to my PowerPoint was basically me summarizing the slide. I did not speak verbatim. I taught as if I were having a conversation. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Good morning, Simone Wealthy. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Any more? Yeah, I see some of you saying, I have a degree. Yeah, why? 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 How do you put it to use? That's a lot of money to pay back. And I'm 4 degrees. I have 2 degrees. Actually, kind of 3, and a few certifications. I have a major in criminal justice, a minor in Spanish, and a master's in organizational psychology with a specific focus in behavioral modification. Someone was I was being pushed to get a doctoral degree to become a doctor in a clinical segment. I didn't want to be a therapist. I didn't want to be a psychotherapist. Thank God I knew where I was headed. I said, I don't want that side of the field. That's not where I'm headed. That's not where I want to work. I want to understand people. I want to be able to come in and make myself valuable in a way that I can bring people together and shift the culture and the dynamics in an organization to achieve the goal that we need to achieve, whatever that is. But I'm not interested in listening or having one-on-one therapy. No, for me, that's not the way I was headed. Okay. And not only that, I was ahead of my time. Because when I started to go into the world of psychology, you got a psychology degree because you wanted to become a doctor, like a psychiatrist, or you wanted to be a therapist. And I wanted to be neither. So when I got my degree, I had to wait for the world to catch up with me. I got my degree before the world of healthcare shifted to non-clinical approaches. So you may be ahead of your time, but if you know for sure that you're on the right path, just wait. As the world turns, they will catch up. I've always been ahead of my time, but I knew exactly where I was headed. And I was like, well, hell, if the university is offering it, this is me. This has me written all over it. Organizational psychology. Yep, that's me. What could I do with it immediately when I graduated? Nothing. That's it. That's all. So that concludes today's segment. I don't think we have anybody that has any questions. Thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with us. As always, um it's been a delight. Okay, here we go. Yep, they will not because they cost a little bit more for a 6-week course. You see what I'm saying, Simone Wealthy? Look, and the certifications to me is just another way. It's a weeding out process to create yet another invisible barrier. That's just my personal opinion. But if it means the world to you, then make it happen. And I want to say something, and this isn't specific towards you, Simone, at all, but I want to say something. I would like to use your comment as an example, but this is not feedback to you. This is just general, but your comment struck up a thought that I've always thought. Simone Wealthy says, I'm seeking to get a certificate in HC, healthcare compliance. I think that's what you're saying. Funny thing is, my company will pay for college/university tuition, but not the hundreds and thousands to get these certificates. Don't look to them to pay for it. Sometimes it's not right. It's not wrong. It is what it is. If that's what your passion is, then you get out there and you pay for it. And then when you're speaking to your passion, the field in healthcare that you like, that you love, bring up the fact that you funded, you invested in your career, and you were able to attain you went to wherever, a private entity to get this certification. Look at the look in their eyes across the screen or in person. They're going to be shocked that you pay for that certification. Happens all the time because most people lean on corporations to give them something and or to fund their future in higher education. Yes, Damika, thank you. She said this was just in time as I'm looking to switch fields. Thank you, Simone. Thank you, Simone. Simple yet stylish says, great segment, Queen. Thanks for all the valuable information. Yes. Yes, it will shock them. It'll shock them. Always does. What? You did? I did. Oh, that's expensive. Yeah, but it's worth it. I'm worth it. Your interview, your discussions in corporate America, they do not require you to be buttoned up as if you're wearing a turtleneck. If you are able to master everything that I talked about and then add your own razzle dazzle, and your razzle dazzle is you being you and not anybody else, and you speaking and carrying yourself in a manner that's specific and unique to you that nobody else can do, man, oh man. Let me tell you something. They'll chase you down to come back. They'll chase you down to have you on their team. Now, there is a nuance. We still need to look the part. We still need to be presentable. We still need to be well-groomed and well-kept. Got it? That's it. That's all. And as y'all know, I do not lead with a fear-based anything. Fear-based, I do not lead with fear-based teaching, training, segments, nothing. Don't even care. Because if you are as good as you say you are, you can find something else to do. Take your marbles and go play elsewhere. That's how we talk over here. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Thank you, Simone. I may have to link up with you. She said, you really need to monetize this segment on a TED Talk style because I always get pertinent information from these segments. It's my pleasure. And you know, one day I will. That's why y'all better get it while you can. You better get it while you can. M. Mill says, I studied and sat for my certification. Nobody but my boss knew, and my company reimbursed me. And sometimes they will and they won't, but we're not leaning in. This is what I'm so right. And that's great. But let me just say this to those of you. Don't be eyeing a certification looking for them to pay for it if that's not typically what they do. And if you don't understand why I'm saying that, it'll hit you one day. If you are passionate about something, then you go get it. You go fish. And if they happen to reimburse you, they will. If not, who cares? Because as a matter of fact, if you are 100% responsible for it, trust me, you're going to get some act right when it's time to show up for those trainings. You're not going to skip a beat. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all. I'm out of here. Until then, I will see y'all next week.